That's right. We're back. Welcome back to WCBC News Annapolis, your source of community news. Now, we're back from our leave of absence and we're here to bring you live-ish coverage of our new building project as we continue to make room for one more, because as the pastor says, there is always room for one more at the cross. You see what I did there? Guy, why don't you tell us how that project is coming?
Hey Chuck. As you all know, we've been covering the Forward in Faith journey for quite some time, and I'm happy to report that your prayers have paid off and we have just broken ground. Even though there's a long road ahead of us, the goal is within reach. Thank you, church family, for all your prayer and support during this campaign. Back to you, Chuck.
Thanks, Guy. That, as usual, was a scintillating report. Now, Kurt has been following a special story that he has an update on. Kurt, what is the deal?
Thanks, Chuck. Well, as you all know, this is the last Sunday we have with our good friend and youth pastor Justin Orr. He will be pursuing further education in North Carolina. Naturally, our lead anchor Chuck will be traveling with him to cover his progress. Chuck has been a valuable asset to this team and a leader of men. He will also be dearly missed. Back to you, Chuck.
Well, that is certainly news to me, Kurt, and it sounds like stupid news, but you got me right there, man. Terry?
Terry in the kitchen.
Yeah, Terry, why don't you just take us into the next segment?
Hey Chuck, sorry to hear the news. We'll miss you, buddy. You know, it's great to be back, and kind of reminds me I'm supposed to announce to you guys that WCBC News is going to be taking another temporary leave of absence for the time being. But hey, Wednesday night dinner starting up again this Wednesday, August 29th, so excited about that, and back to you, Chuck.
Thanks, Terry. That brings us to the next segment, where I'd just like to take a moment to recognize Justin Orr. He's a guy who would never talk about himself, so I've compiled a list of 37 reasons that we should be appreciative of him. Number 1.
Chuck, we're out of time. You have to end it now.
Well, Justin, just remember, less is more. That brings us to the final segment, where I'd like to just leave you with a devotional thought before we close the show. It comes from 2 Timothy 2:15. It says, "Do your best to present yourself to God as one approved, a worker who has no need to be ashamed, rightly handling the word of truth." How do you present yourself to God in a way that you don't need to be ashamed? You rightly handle His word. So, friends, keep your noses in the Scriptures and do it with integrity. Well, folks, that brings us to the end of this broadcast. It has been a pleasure serving you. This has been your WCBC News Annapolis, your source of community news. Now, see you later. Keep it real. Deuces.
WCBC News is going to be taking another temporary leave of absence. Leave of absence. 3, 2.
The way you count sometimes is so funny. On a personal note, with a word from our staff, with a word from our staff. All right, let's do that again. Now Kurt's gonna throw it over to me.
In 3, 2.
All right, here we go. Sorry. How do you present yourself to God in a way that you don't need to be ashamed? You rightly handle His word. I don't know why Sam's coming in right now. I think. What? Stop. I did a good job of not laughing. We'd just like to say as your crew that I messed that up, and that's about the end of that take, and we're going to need to do that again.
And cut.